is anyhow. So, not this one. So, Namah Shankarananda. Salutation to the Shankarananda. It is the name of the master of this author of the text. Even you see, we are learning from the teachings and the writing of this author or the awakened guy, who in the very first verse he salutes his master in order to bring about a change in himself. Why not we? Guru Padam Bhujjanmane. So he says to the lotus feet of the Guru. It's purely a mental and intellectual perception that I thought and the ego at the feet of the master. Means I crush my ego. Why? Then only the journey of the real self is possible. Third line, Savilas Mahamoha. Savilas Mahamoha, the great delusion with all its manifestations. The great delusion, like a crocodile, has caught us. And that crocodile catches the prey and it moves round and round and round until we are broken, until the prey is broken into pieces. Compare it with the delusion. What a wonderful metaphor. My all delusions are gone. Whose sole function is to devour this monster. Grahe grase karmani. The entire goal of Eastern wisdom is to drop that delusion of crocodile. Why? To awaken to our real self. Open your eyes. We have been talking about the main theme of this. Today I will just lay down that how this master Vidyaranya takes us to the journey of the self-discovery and help us to reach to that state of awakening and self-realization. Perhaps in the last session we did talk something about Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. We cannot see them, but we can see their effect. We can see their effect. Someone texted me just 5 minutes before, from here only, that congratulations for ceasefire between India and Pakistan. I instantly sent a message to him that let there be a ceasefire in your mind also. I heard about a lot about you. Lives in New York. So you are more concerned about the world outside and you are not concerned about how to have a ceasefire of your own mind. So today we are just, the first 5 chapters is all about discernment. I started a new series on this Panchadashi, I am consciousness, and since then we have been understanding what exactly is the discernment practically and how to apply this discernment. And then in our daily life. So the first 5 chapters helps us to discover existence. Existence. You know, I am consciousness. I told you that what we are, Sat Chetanand, the Sat is existence. So we have to discern. I discern today and then I'm sleepy and lazy. It will not work. That is not the goal of a seeker. Seeker is ever vigilant, ever vigilant. Whether you are in a restroom or you are watching horror film. So you see the screen of the TV at the same time you watch the horror film, nothing happens. You have objectified it. So is discernment in the first 5 chapters, but discern to know what exactly is existence. Simplest understanding. She is. So that she with the noun in the form is one aspect of understanding, and the ageness. He is. If I say Dennis is, so Dennis with the name in the form and isness is the existence. Now you use anything. Room is, phone is, computer is, teacher is, seeker is. That isness is different. It is something like wave as a name in the form is water. Necklace, name in the form, isness, gold. So we are trying to understand that existence in the first 5 chapters. But now come to the first chapter. So the master says, we are Satchidananda. Waker is, dreamer is, sleeper is. That isness is absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. So he has taken up the first, how to understand this existence, how our perception should also be simultaneous. When I say Dennis is, Christina is, Jerry is, isness. I gave you a clarity. Wave, name in the form. One layer of false existence because the wave is constantly changing. Isness is the water. Metaphorically, the water doesn't change. So we are discerning, we are separating the false from the real. So if I separate false from the real, the false will be destroyed. No, the false will continue to be visible because it is dependent on the real. As long as there is a real, as long as there is an existence, there will always be false. Unreal should not be there. Elephant is flying in the sky. Untruth. So real, unreal, false. We are trying to understand how author, our master, has designed the very first chapter and what it conveys, what it means to us. So first I told you that it tells us about existence. What is the process of discernment? Next 5 chapters, we will discern about consciousness, the second aspect of the real self. In the next 5 chapters, the last 5 chapters, we will discern about the bliss, the permanent happiness. And I can bet you, even if you intellectually cover the entire 15 chapters, you can never be the same person again. That is the power of this text, the way he has written. I am the body rather than I'm conscious of the body. Come on. I am the car. Instead, I am conscious of the car. I'm aware of this car. How I am aware of the car? The car is. Again, you see, car has a name in the form. Isness is always there. That anything that exists depends on the existence. And that existence is common. I exist, you exist, car exists, house exists, world exists, the star exists. Look at this beauty of understanding. So it means what I'm discerning existence, so I have to understand what is non existence. What do you mean by the non existence? That keeps on changing. That keeps on changing. This body, this body keeps on changing. One day it will disappear, non-existence. But that change depends on something that is unchanging. That is unchanging is the one part of the real self, and that is common to anything and everything. Clay pot, it is broken, crush it. Clay doesn't go away. Clay continues to exist. If the clay continues to exist in a different form, why not that existence which has taken the shape of the Girish will continue to exist? So why should I worry? So the master have laid down another beautiful. It says Asti Bhati Priyam Nam Roop. Asti means existence, Bhati means consciousness, Priyam means permanent happiness, Nam means the name, and Roop means the form. So the master gives you a just, he plays with our intellect and the mind. He says, let us see. Don't you address anyone by name, having a form, name and the form at the outer level, golden necklace. It is the name and the form. But behind that, behind anything and everything, there is absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. Take it that is a geometrical problem. We have to prove it. We have to prove it. It has nothing to do with, belief in cult, in dogma. You have to believe it. So in the very first chapter, he points out that are you becoming aware of that existence? And the first 5 chapters, now you see that, first 5 chapters, we have already understood that there is an existence that does not change, that remains the same in a waking, dream, and the sleep state. We have been passing through the waking, dream, and the sleep states. How many years? If you are 50 years, 50 years we have been passing through waking, dream, and the sleep. But there is something that is constant, that is existence. That is existence. I'm just giving you a blueprint of this first 5 chapters, and then we will come back to the first chapter again. So, okay, then what about the waker? I'm conscious, it means the mind is aware that it is a waking state, it compares with the dream state. So this waking state takes place because of what? So in the second chapter, we will have a discernment of the five elements, how these five elements causes the deception. I'm a speaker and I'm speaking to you all. That means, the sound is going to you. Let there be no space. Can the sound travel? So how dare you say that, you are speaking and I'm teaching to you without the assistance of, so it is material energy. And if you brag yourself, then let there be no space and pass the sound. There is no air and let the sound be passed. It means that sound which I claim I am speaking is also a part of this same five elements. It is same group, same family. We will talk about it. The sound has a family of the space. The sight has a family of fire. Fire, not in a fire, is a light, heat in the light. So if they belong to the same family, they are material. And if they are material, I'm none of them. And then in the third chapter, we understand the six neighbors. They are actually neighbors. How to discern that they are neighbors only. They are not me. Means body, mind, intellect, and ego. And then the master in the fourth chapter comes. He says the duality. There is all a problem of the duality. The moment I wake up in the morning and I say my body, it means I and my body is the duality. I address you. So I and you are two. I and he and she are two. What is this duality? Is there really a duality? Or the duality exists in delusion, not in knowledge? That is the fourth chapter. So once we cover the fourth chapter, so in the fifth chapter, there are only 8 verses. And in these 8 verses, it says, when you say, I am the real self, what it means. What it means. How to address, I am the real self. And the moment you say, I'm the real self, you are settled into that real self. So it all talks about the very existence it talks about. Now let us come from the first chapter so that you will have a clear understanding. So we started with the first understanding of the 3 states, and we are intellectually clear. I'm not a waker, plus the existence present inside behind the waker, like the wave to the water. I am not a dreamer, the dreamer plus the existence. Then the sleeper plus the existence. So the existence is common. That existence continues. It can never be destroyed, even though we have been waking, sleeping, and dreaming for so many years, every day, every week, every month. But there is something that does not change, that remains constant. I remain constant. What changes? Today I have a stress. Yesterday I was happy. A day after I'll have some other problem. But that I-ness, that existence does not change at all. So now we already understood roughly, we will go deeply. We already understood that Now we have to understand that what is this waker state, in the dreamer state, in the sleeper state, with reference to the world outside, or is there any supreme existence at all? So then we understood. I'm going to open up that. This master is going to open. What we said, consciousness means that the same real self plus satoguna is Ishwar, is the supreme consciousness. Why it is a supreme consciousness? Because it is made up of purely knowledge. It has never experienced the ignorance and the delusion. So the same real self, same ocean, satoguna, now the ocean, rajo and tamoguna. I become an individual. So I talk in terms of an individual. I'm a teacher, you all are seekers, or you all are teachers, I'm a seeker, or this is, hold on. The same real self, Satoguna, supreme consciousness, same ocean, same consciousness, Raju and Tamoguna, an individual. Okay. And the same real self, Tamoguna, is the material world. He presented in a beautiful logical coherence. No, but what are all these three gunas? We can see the impact of these three gunas. We cannot see it. And Master says, I will help you understand that. So then he continues. Now there is another problem comes. I know you may have a doubt about it. What exactly? The science says something else about this creation. And you say something different about this creation. Tell me one thing. Starting from, there are two ways of understanding this mouse. You start from the plastic at the physical level. Then you move to the subtle level of this plastic, granules, atoms and molecules. We know the properties. So that is how, because of the physical properties, that plastic can be converted into any shape and it will last long. We have not taken, let me have a mouse with the stone. Science is very particular. So we are also very particular. So they have reached to the subtle level. What about the causal, ultimate level? We understood there is a physical level, there is a subtle level, there is a causal. Cause of both, the subtle and the physical. So the science has reached a bit little above quantum physics. It says electromagnetic waves and everything is nothing but the energy. Einstein also say that matter can be converted into energy. What about the Eastern Wisdom says, yes, you're right. You're right. I'm just giving a insight into it. You're right. But who is the holder? Who is the holder of the plastic as a matter? What do you mean by holder? Who is the holder of the space? There must be someone who is the holder of the space that does not allow the property of the space to change, you can say, over billions of years. Who is the holder of the water? Throw the water. Water, stand there. Can it? Who is the holder of that? Properties. What is the inherent properties from where it comes? It is the causal level. Simple way. Simple. We have to dehypnotize our mind from simply taking for granted what the science says. So basically, what I want to say, we start with the ultimate. What is ultimate? We are of the nature of absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. And then there is a one layer of the covering of the Sato Guna. There is a supreme consciousness full of knowledge. Second layer of covering, the ocean is the same, oneness is the same. We come to Rajo and Tamo Guna in individual. And then we come to the material level of the Tamo Guna. Every layer has all the three gunas dominant. So we have to start at the causal creation, how the creation takes place at the causal level. Science moves from the physical to the subtle to the causal. We move from the ultimate consciousness to the causal to the subtle to the physical. That is our approach. This needs to be under. That is why we started with causal level. What is that causal? What is that causal? Consciousness plus satoguna. Can I see the causal level? No. Can I feel the impact? Yes. And then we come down to the subtle level. What is the subtle level? The mind, memory, intellect, and ego. Oh, that makes me an individual? Yes. So the causal level is also present, and this subtle level can only work if I have the physical manifestation. So I have the physical body with the five sense organs, with the five motor organs. Why we are doing it? All the three levels belongs to the matter. Matter is inert. Inert cannot know itself. Inert cannot know others. Hence, I am of the nature of the real self of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. But don't be in a haste. We are doing it step by step. We will prove it through our experience, through intellectual understanding. So, the causal level, we start with the causal level. Consciousness, causal level. Ultimate, causal level. Everything starts with the pure consciousness. Getting messed up with the ignorance. This creates both, because of the messing up, this creates both. One entity full of knowledge, which we say the supreme consciousness or the God. Other messed up with the Raju and the Tamoguna, individual. The third is totally messed up with the Tamoguna, is the material world. Does the science talk about it? Quantum physics is also a theoretical physics. Come on. So we don't have a theoretical physics. We have a clarity. Science doesn't talk about the consciousness creating everything. Instead, it looks at the physical origin like a Big Bang theory. Big Bang. There was a big hole, right? From where the world has started. From where the Big Bang has started. Oh, it means that Big Bang is different and separate from the world. So you have already accepted the existence of the God. So now the Big Bang is the God who created the world. Very deeper. So that's why I'm taking it. Then from that causal level, we come down to the subtle level. So this master explains the causal level comes our mind and thoughts and feeling. These aren't physical, but are finer than our physical body. Yes, science also talks about it. Our thoughts and feeling come from the brain activity. Now you see they have gone down. They say that my thought and the feeling is a product of the brain. Brain is a gray matter. We use the word gray matter, inert. So how the matter whose property is inertness can give rise to a consciousness. So even the scientists are divided into three or four groups. Why they say, oh, consciousness originates from the back. Someone says that in the front. Someone says that it is hypothalamus. A lot of confusion. So we are not going there. I'm just giving a highlight of it. And then we say that from that causal body, we have these five elements combined to make the physical world, including my physical body. Physical body. What the science says, matter is made up of atom and particles. So on one hand, you say matter is made up of atoms and particles. On the other hand, you say that the same particles and the matter give rise to you the thought and the feeling and emotions. You are contradicting yours. I'm making you aware of understanding that you are contradicting yourself. So why I picked up this topic, that we start with the ultimate. We don't start from the matter and I want to find out where the consciousness is. Why? Matter cannot find the consciousness. Matter is inert. Matter is inert. Inert means what? It cannot know itself, it cannot know others. So I'm doing an intellectual inquiry. For that, I need a consciousness. I need a conscious self-inquiry. How, if I start from the matter, how can I do the conscious self-inquiry? How can I find it? We start with a pure consciousness. We don't know it. We have to know it. How we have to know it? We have to remove the ignorance. What the science says, we are biological organism. We have different models of a human being in the science. I'm just giving you a little bit of clarity. I'm not going deeper. So big difference between that consciousness is the foundation of everything. While the traditional science usually sees consciousness as something which is the product of the brain, and brain is the matter. Especially the real scientist in the scientific circle, this is a hard problem of consciousness. They start making that statement. So what happens? So once as we progress into the first chapter, we start moving from the causal, how this causal level is created. The mind, the ear is how the ear is related to which particular element, which particular guna, and how it functions. Sometimes you see that, the people eyeballs looks very clear. It's structurally it is functioning very well, but still they are blind. So we say there is a faculty of perception by the eye. There is a faculty of hearing, which is different from the structural ears. Structural ears, physical. Faculty of hearing, subtle. Who is the coordinator? The mind. What is behind that coordinator is the consciousness. What is that consciousness? I am, you are. At that level, there is no difference. So why there is a difference even why I perceive that difference? That is because of the delusion. That is because of the So we go at a very subtler level. The space has a specific properties. It continues its properties since the origin of the space. For the time being, forget that when the space is created, when the water is created, when the air is created. For the time being, you forget. Now you see the inherent properties of these elements remain the same since the origin. But who is keeping these properties same? There must be someone, the holder. Who is that holder? That holder is consciousness plus satoguna, innermost self, innermost controller. Innermost controller remains the same. It is one that controls everything. But how can you say that controls everything? Because it has to coordinate. It has to coordinate the space with the air with the fire, and so on. So the coordinator has to be one who knows the working of the space, working of all these five elements. So if we say there has to be a holder of it, and if you say that it is the supreme consciousness, and that supreme consciousness is also the innermost self of within, where is the problem? You're getting it very good. You're not getting it very good. We are continuing the journey, so everything becomes clear. So even the laws of the phenomenal existence, there are certain laws. Gravitational force. We have discovered. No problem at all. Science is just. But what is the origin of it? Since the origin of this entire galaxy cosmos, if there is a 1 millimeter of change of the position of the earth or the sun or any planet, we are gone. 1 millimeter. So the first chapter deals with our relationship to the world, our relationship to the supreme existence, because that supreme existence or the innermost self is full of the sattva guna. So let our mind work towards reaching to the higher and higher sattva guna. That is the meaning of devotion. That is the meaning of meditation. That is the meaning of discernment. And you can add everything there. Did you get something today? Let us start sharing again. Who wants to share? Who wants to share? Terry wants to share? Yes. Who wants to share? Just be aware you are sitting here when I say, let us share. Which faculty, which layer of the existence heard? Subtle. Because of the causal. Because of the physical also. All the three layers are together. You see that?
I'll go
But
ahead.
if the consciousness is not behind, forget about it. Forget about all the three layers. It means all the three layers are dependent on the same consciousness. And that is the innermost controller. I just initiated. Can you start? Yes, David, you can start. Anyone, it's open. You understand and you don't understand.
I love the concept of the holder of the object is not the holder of the space. And so that just causes my mind to kind of go into this infinite processing, kind of like when you look up at the sky and you ask yourself, where's the end? There is no end. And so all of a sudden, you know, it's infinity, and you look at the world, and the world becomes a tiny, 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 tiny little dot in this whatever is out there. And I don't think we have, as human beings, the concept to really understand the concept of real infinite consciousness. So that's my take.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful. You see that do you see the space? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone see this space? If you say yes, remove the light. Tell me, can you see the space? Second, the space I figure out is an experience of accommodation. I cannot see the space. The family of the space comes with the sound. If there is a sound, I can experience there is a space, but I cannot see the space. We claim, what's the measurement of your room? Oh, 15 by 20. Yeah, it is accommodation. It is not a space. Who is the holder of that space? That is what David is. So we have a holder of the space so that its properties continues. We have a holder of the air. It continues the properties. We have a holder of the light. The same properties. The properties remain the same over millions of years since the origin. So there must be some holder. We cannot leave the entire functioning of the cosmos without a holder. Does anyone has a thought?
Oh, thank you for that lesson. And what I've been experiencing that I haven't been, that I truly know this is truth, and not just because you're saying it, but everywhere else I read or whatever I'm coming against, the truth comes back to the real self. And I'm seeing now very clearly with the other people in my life, near and dear loved ones, that they are so attached to the physical world. And
Yeah,
as I was attached for, if all of you remember me back in the day, I was crying nonstop and dealing with all of that, with just all of that. And now I've stepped back as I lean back and fully encapsulate my true self and my real nature, which is behind all of this. And it has helped me become more aware, but
yeah,
also helped me kind of come back down and realize that there's so many people out here that deserve this guidance. So yeah,
beautiful.
thank you.
Beautifully said. Everything comes down to the real self. I am attached at the physical or mental level. This physical and the mental level or the subtle level are separate from me and my real self. The moment you discern, you drop your attachment. It doesn't mean that you drop those people. You are still relate, but minus attachment. So that is the purpose of the first chapter, to point us to the existence, not the superficial reality, the super or the false I, real false self. Does anyone wants to share?
Yes. I think you were saying that all phenomena have an origin, but we don't know what it is. But does it have to be a who or what is holding, like the water and the
Yes, yes.
space?
Holder. Holder means that, or you can use roughly the word the
Man,
controller of the properties of
mhm.
any substance, since its origin is the same, whether it's a space or air or water.
And if it has an origin, how can it be infinite? I mean, I'm not
Yes,
quite
yes, yes.
there. It's hard to.
So that holder is infinite, not such phenomena. So those phenomena are the physical, subtle, and the causal level. Okay. So these phenomena are not infinite. That holder is the infinite. And who is the holder? Consciousness.
Huh. I
Any,
get. Okay.
yeah,
You
any
could
objection?
presume that it has to be consciousness because it can't hold it unless it's conscious of it.
Unless it is conscious. Yes, you have reached there.
So
You have
that's
reached.
logic.
Yes, I can only
Most,
hold if I'm conscious. So that
mm,
is why I'm conscious.
okay.
And if I'm consciousness, so I'm not the causal level, I'm not the causal body, I'm not the subtle body, I'm not the physical body. You have concluded. And that
But I feel
conclusion
like there's something else, but I don't know what it is.
so once we complete the first 5 chapters, we are clear about, oh, I exist. No, I am existence.
Mm.
Dennis, you have some objection or clarity?
No objections at all. If we talk about the causal level, um, I have an analogy or metaphor. I think it is like if we talk about computer game and the characters of this computer game that appear real to the one who plays, to the one who watches it. But there is someone who coded the rules of that computer
Yeah.
game. And I think this is that causal level that you're talking about, and the the programmer that created it is the consciousness reflected in the sattva guna, which is Ishvara you explained last time.
Yes.
So this causal level basically contains the rules of how this world functions. But there's also an interesting question that comes out of it. If we have these three layers or three levels, causal, subtle, and physical, um, they are not quite separate one from other, because uh,
Yeah.
the physical level cannot exist without the causal level, but at the same time, can causal level exist without physical level? Because
Yes. 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 It can exist.
it can.
Yeah. It can
Uh,
exist, but it is absence of manifestation.
Now, for example, yeah, I will give a more specific example. Let's um, let's pretend that all the human beings who can perceive this world disappeared. So there's no one who can perceive this world right now. Will the world continue to exist?
Yeah.
But how? If there
Not
is
for
no,
me. Not for me, but
but
for others. I'm
there's no other.
awakened.
But
Say
there are no
example.
other.
I am awakened, and then for me, this entire world of phenomena is a false. It appears to exist, it does not exist. But who are living in ignorance, for them, it is a real world of attachment, of pain and pleasure.
And if there are no one left who continue living in ignorance,
Yes,
then
yes.
what happens? Then what happens to the causal and subtle level?
Then what happens to the there is nothing? They merge. What happens to all the waves when they merge into the water? Tell me what happens, what remains.
So the causal level ceases to exist as well.
So
So the
that is,
causal level cannot exist objectively. That's what I'm
yes,
getting.
yes. You have touched the core of this. There is no objective reality left. Why? It manifested through the one consciousness, one real self. So it manifested, appeared, creation of the world. Drop, dissolved, the dissolution of the world. Manifestation, unmanifestation. Appearance, disappearance. Seed, becoming tree, again seed, becoming tree. Do you see the entire process? Entire process of evolution and involution that is happening all the time. I spoke for an hour after that. It is happening here and now. We don't notice. And another point that I want to make you aware, while working on the internet, on the computer, we don't remember the Bill Gates. Or if you have Apple, we don't remember the Steve Jobs, the holder of that intelligence, from where the causal level came, from where the subtle level came, and then the iPad and the Windows came. Who remembers? That forgetfulness is ignorance. Are you getting it? It's a simple example. I don't know who discovered the internet. Just I know the two names, and I'm not grateful to them. So in a way, I am not grateful to that Ishwar. Why I should be grateful? So at least let my mind touch that holder. Why? So that I can find my origin. Why? So that I can recognize and realize my real self. That is why I'm grateful. Otherwise, there is no need. I'm ungrateful means tamse guna. So it means I'm acting like an inert object. It will not help me to recognize. So there is non-violence is nothing to do with morality and ethics at all. We are doing it for the sake of our own evolution. Violence is tamse guna. Are you getting it? So that makes a sense to us. And how many people are moral and ethical? I will commit the violence. He has committed the violence he became a millionaire, so I will also do the same thing. That is an objection about morality and ethics. But when we say we have to evolve, I should be grateful. When I'm grateful, my mind follows that satoguna. I come very near to the innermost controller. Are you getting it? There is nothing that cannot be explained in the Eastern wisdom. The Buddhism, they cannot explain fully everything, but these teachings, the Eastern wisdom as a whole, can put everything in right perspective. I'm moving my hand. How come? Mind has given the order, but mind must know. So mind must know, it means it should superficially act like a conscious entity. So that is why it is a reflected consciousness. Do you see that? Do you see? See that? See it clearly. Fingers. It is the mental reflected consciousness make this body enlivened. So the body may be malfunctioning, but the reflected consciousness works fine. So that is what we see as a disability structurally problem. Internal at the subtle level, it is the same. Causal level, I have lot of past impressions, and that prevents me to reflect the satoguna. Hence, I have a problem of anxiety, duality, conflict, depression, ignorance, violence, and lot of other. Or I have the better good qualities of kindness. So the causal level has to be present. But the causal level, so causal level means it should be the causal level of everyone. And there has to be a holder. Someone has to hold on to it. So we just named it. If that holder is one in every being in this earth or universe or galaxy in the entire phenomenal universe. So that holder is the Ishwar. We don't say it is a human entity, but in order to be grateful, I can have an image. Why? So that the mind can move to the Satoguna. Why? So that, I can realize my real self. So, okay, I move to the Satoguna. Still, I'm in the Sato, Raju, and Tamoguna. Yes. What you do, once you reach to the Satoguna, you transcend it. So, when you transcend it, there is only one subjective reality left, that is the pure consciousness, that is the real self. That is what Dennis was explaining. So first we have, if I'm very tamasic, I have to move to the Rajoguna. Tamasic can be balanced or can be left by increasing Rajoguna. Rajoguna has to be pacified by the Satoguna. And the Satoguna, then it needs to be transcended. We have transcended all the three gunas. It means there is a complete dissolution for me. I moved from the innermost Ishwar to the real self of the nature of existence, consciousness, and bliss. Whatever this master said, that there is something present all the time without any change, all pervading in all the three states, every day, weeks, months, and years we have reached to that. Terry wants to say something. Holder. I don't remember Einstein. Okay, it's okay. I don't remember Edison. I don't remember Bill Gates, don't remember Steve Jobs, but don't forget the holder of this. When we forget to, in the material world, what to talk about the entire holder of the universe? Sadhuguna plus consciousness. Are you getting it? We forget even our parents what to talk about Edison, and we are not even grateful and thankful. At least we are born as a human being. Our parents may be the craziest people on this earth. Does that make a sense to you? Let they be the craziest people. But I should be grateful. Thank you. I'm born as a human being. You are partially responsible. Let us say, even, let us be grateful. You are partially responsible. Do you see the entire position and the logic and the reasoning of the entire journey of the Eastern wisdom? It has to do more with the clarity, to remove the ignorance. And when you remove the ignorance, you have already transcended all the three gunas. Should I tell you something great? You have transcended the three gunas. You can settle yourself into the sato guna to bless someone. It will work. It is the reverse process. As the inner holder, you can settle yourself. It has nothing to do with any power. You can settle yourself into the sato guna, come down little bit of rajasic guna, you can read the minds of others. It has nothing to do with any mysticism. Nothing at all. Purely analytical, mathematical. You slight little bit and you understand. Oh, okay, oh, that is it, bro. But that is a pretty, to make you understand, that's pretty a higher state. From the next time, you have to stop me at exactly at 8:30 so that we should continue with the practice. But we will reach to a point where the practice is not required. I'm conveying the masses in this knowledge. You are already into the meditative stuff. This is what the master says. Even though master gives in the first chapter, there are 12 practices that we are going to do as we reach there. That is all for today. Thank you.
Thank
Don't
you.
forget, you are the holder of this body, mind, intellect, Terry, including everyone. You are not the body, mind. You are the holder of that. And that holder is the same. And if it is the same, we all are the same.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.